add on to that question, does that mean that being racist can be seen as natural?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's innate. It's within our nature to distrust that which we do not know nothing of. It's how you survive. You don't walk up to a lion and go, "Hey, little kitty." You're gonna get mauled, man. You don't like. Does that make sense? It's like there are these things that you grow up and you learn from them. You don't go into certain neighborhoods wearing certain colors. You don't say certain things on different blocks because other people might. You learn these things, and if you didn't learn them from your own personal experience, you learned them from hearing other people. That's how you become racist. You hear about, I've never been to Korea, but I hear they're really nice. Watch me get off the plane, and some little Korean dude's gonna like beat me up just because he doesn't like my Dodger shit or something because he likes whatever other baseball team. And I can't just base who everyone is from that country because of that one experience. But we do that. You interact with one or two people of a certain place, and then you automatically assume that everyone else is like that because, hey, if it happened this time, it's going to happen every time. It's how you survive to distrust and that of what you do not know. That's why everyone's a little bit racist. And even if you say you're not racist, it's called implicit bias. You're going to act differently. You're going to be looking out for different things if you're walking down Compton Boulevard than if you're walking down Rodeo Drive. Just put it like that. You're going to, why? Because of the people there. And you're basing assumptions off their race. It's that simple. You do things differently. You're going to see everyone else as a threat. When you're on Compton Boulevard, that's who you're going to walk around being all scared and sketch, right? Where when you walk down Rodeo Drive, you're going to be walking around scared and sketch because everyone else is going to see you as a threat because they don't know who you are based on the assumption of what you look like. Like if I walk around Rodeo Drive looking like the way I look with the Dodger jersey and my hoodie on, cargo shorts and my huaraches, they're going to see me as a threat. I'm going to walk around with a different gravitas over there than when I do over here. Because over there, I'm not trying to attract attention. Over at Rodeo Drive, you can look at me what you want. What you gonna do? You're gonna get me? Thank you for being scared. That means I don't have to have an interaction with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can't get away from it, man. It's not only individual, it's cultural, it's societal, it's where you're at. You do dumb things when you're with your friends. That's why you rarely see lynching by one person. Lynching is a group of people, right? Because you get dumbed down the more that you join a bigger group. Because you want to be a part of that group. So you end up taking in those ideas of that group. Power in numbers. That's how you survive. I don't know if that makes sense if I went all over the place.
It does. I was just questioning what people outside are thinking, like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh.
But to my final two questions. How do you feel or think other ethnicities should be represented in films and media?
I mean, look at it. Let's put it like this. There's a guy, I don't even remember his name. I just know that in every movie he comes out and his name is Hector. And he's some kind of different gangster. Some kind of cholo. And his name is always Hector. Look him up. You can look him up easily. You can Google him up. I'm not going to Google him up. It's just to put a point. Usually when you think of Hispanics, we're not put in a good point. When you think of Asians, they're usually the smart ones, right? When you think of I don't know, black people, they're probably in crime, broken families. I mean, hell, I even discussed with you guys. All you gotta do is look at that one Disney show, what was it, with all the little kids and they're all like the descendants? All the evil people, it's people of color and the neighborhoods are all tagged on and there's graffiti everywhere. The ones that are seen evil, they're all people of color. And you look at the descendants, and you look over to the Disney Prince side, and they all practice a different culture, and they all look a different way. Even the music that gets played in the background is not as hip hopish. It's more balling. It's implicit bias. You're feeding into that racism just in that show. Why couldn't the Disney princess section be the scummy section with all the tagging in the background? And the evil section be the nice bright side with no tagging and clean streets. They just don't like people. It's good when I stay out their way. Why do they have to be dirty? Why do they have to look as if they're of color and talk in a less educated way? And yet you just accept it. It's a Disney trope. It is what it is.
Thank you. And now for the final question. How do you feel when there's a certain character from a Disney film? To make another example, let's say The Little Mermaid. You probably heard news about the fact that they're gonna make a live-action Little Mermaid film, but she's gonna be black. How do you feel about those type of situations?
It's The Little Mermaid, dude. Like, they're mythical creatures. Why does she have to be white to begin with? Now, you really want to go down the rabbit hole. Look at Frozen. The setting is in a mythical Nordic land. There weren't that many African Americans. So, would it be the same if you made her African American? Does that make sense? I mean, they made the general black, which I thought was cool, some inclusivity. Because I think it was in Frozen 2 where the general was African American, with a person of color.
I never saw it.
Yeah. Everyone else was. You've never watched Frozen 2? I have daughters, man. I'm sorry. But anyway, I mean, I shouldn't be apologizing. Frozen 1's a lot better. Frozen 2, highlight when the snowman dude gives you the run up of the movie. You kind of have to look at the character and where were they based? It's like Moana. Are you gonna do Moana as blonde hair, blue eyes? Will make no sense, right? You gotta. I look at it not as an inclusivity, but like setting. Where was it and when was it? You're not gonna make a movie about slavery where you have the African Americans be the slave owners and the white people be the slaves. I mean, you can. It's been done before, but people are not going to look at it in the same way as if it's the tables were the way it was set. There's a different impact that it had on it, right? So I would look at it like that. If it's just like the movie Trolls, then yeah, man, you got to make them all rainbow. But when at least I feel I love movies. I watch movies all the time. I would like to keep it as. I would like to keep the characters that portray them as with fidelity of where they came from. I don't know if that makes sense. Like they better look like where they.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people tend to get caught up in that. Like, why didn't they make the lead character in Frozen African American or brown? Because she's in the middle of the North Pole and they were not representative. People that look like me. So that's why they did it. It was not racist.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. I mean, like I said, you gotta separate your own opinion from the reality of what is going on and what is being portrayed.
So you'd feel as if, let's say, someone like director Jordan Peele, who gives a lot of commentary in his films, such as Us,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like that'd be a better way of representing?
It's to keep it honest. Like what I'm talking about is why does every coach have to be white? Saving the inner city. And I mean that in a lot of different contexts, not just in sports. There's always like the trope of the white savior, right? Why can't a person of color go into a Caucasian town and be the coach that pulls them out? Why can't, right? Those stories really aren't told. It's the stories from the other side of the minority that is the strong one that comes in to save that culture that has been in power. Right? And showing people that guess what? You can look at outside people and people that don't look like you to be leaders, competent leaders, strong leaders, right? And good members of society. We always tend to play out, especially in like Hollywood and stuff, we tend to play out the whatever stereotypes are there just to keep the story moving, and people don't ask that many questions. It's inclusivity. There's people out there, right? Not everyone that looks like me is going to try to steal from you, I guess. So please stop putting people that look like me all the time as stealing, because that's not all we do. Some of us like to cook. Some of us like to do other stuff. So I would guess that would be my answer.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Perez.
De nada.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking me into consideration on this.
Yeah.
And I miss you guys.
I tried.
You show up personally.
Shut up.
Stop recording.
It's probably true.
Ooh, 10 times ooh, 10 times ooh.